The trailer for the new Red Sonja movie has been released, and while the movie itself may be alright, this trailer went out of its way to hide it. No other channel has covered and documented the development of the new Red Sonja as extensively as this one, and the newly dropped trailer just confirmed all my fears. To be clear, those fears are secondarily for the movie itself. The actual movie might still be alright. No, my fears were for the marketing, and those fears are the ones that were just confirmed. As covered in previous videos, this Red Sonja appears to be a case of history repeating itself, because it's Solomon Kane all over again, with a sprinkling of Dredd and the Conan the Barbarian remake thrown in for good measure as well. To briefly summarize for new viewers, Solomon Kane is a great movie based on a Robert E. Howard property, which Red Sonja is as well, or at the very least the Marvel Comics adaptation of one at any rate. And Solomon Kane was even helmed by the same director as this Red Sonja. But Solomon Kane was essentially a foreign independent movie, and none of the major US distributors picked it up, which meant it never got the coordinated global release with ditto coordinated marketing push it needed to spawn a franchise. Instead, it was handled by a bunch of smaller local distributors that all released the movie at different times in their respective home markets. And since there was no major coordinated marketing and release strategy or even marketing materials, they all had to use their own do-it-yourself homemade marketing materials, so obviously the movie never made any waves because of it. That, unfortunately, is the exact same thing that has happened to Red Sonja. Being made by Millennium, it is essentially a big foreign indie production, and they tried to sell the movie to the big distributors with global branches and networks just when the audience turned on girl bosses in a major way. Since all the big studios had a slew of girl boss flicks of their own waiting to be released, and surely now flop upon release, the last thing anyone needed was to pick up yet another one. And so, none of the majors wanted anything to do with Red Sonja, thereby relegating it to the same fate as Solomon Kane. That is, be picked up by a bunch of smaller, lesser local distributors all over the world, including in the US, none of which have any wider release networks with which to coordinate any kind of larger international release. Hence, Red Sonja will be released at different times in different markets, with different trailers and marketing materials. At least it better be, because the trailer for Red Sonja that we just saw was god-awful. It is honestly one of the worst trailers I have ever seen, just a bunch of cuts in rapid succession, with no cohesion or narrative being told between them. Just random out-of-place lines and terrible guitar squealing like a pig. No pitch was provided to why anyone anywhere should see this movie, and based on this trailer, no one will. So I certainly hope the different small-time distributors releasing this around the world will cut their own trailers for their respective markets rather than relying on this one. Because however good or bad the movie itself may be, this trailer will kill it stone dead. That's why I added the Dredd and the Conan remake to this comparison as well. Now, Dredd was a great movie and Conan the Barbarian a terrible remake, but what both had in common was that no audiences went to the theaters to find that out for themselves, because they too were both sunk by terrible trailers long before they were ever released. You see, they were both distributed by Bomb Factory Lionsgate, at the time when Lionsgate had the worst marketing operation in Hollywood bar none, which is kind of what made them a bomb factory. For the Conan remake, they made a whopping 1 theatrical trailer, which didn't even last 2 minutes, though it did highlight every single reason why you should not see the movie. But a trailer is supposed to give you a reason to want to go, and this one failed to do that. Same thing with Dredd, which was a great movie, but there was no way to tell that from the 2 trailers released, both of which had a more esoteric tone and music, which in no way were representative of the actual movie. Even Carl Urban later came out and said that movie failed because of the marketing, and he was 100% right in that assessment. At this point in time, I don't know if the Red Sonja movie will be good or not, but I do know that that god-awful trailer didn't give me or anyone else any reason to see it and find out. What did you think about this trailer? Let me know in the comments.